Today we're going to create a sim household together, one step at a time, covering everything you need to know from aspirations, clothing, hair, and more. So grab a cuppa, fire up The Sims 4, and let's get simming. What you see might look a little different depending on when you're watching this video, but don't worry, my friends, I'll walk you through everything step by step. So let's hop into the game from where we left off last time, and we'll get started. I suggest starting a brand new save by selecting New Game. The game will immediately have you create a sim by asking you various questions. If you want to do the questionnaire, then you can click OK, otherwise click No Thanks. Because this is a tutorial, we're going to go through this creation process here. So let's say OK. So let's start with an easy question. What age am I? We're going to say young adult. You have the choices between young adult, adult, and older. I'm offered extra credit. Do I take it? Absolutely. What is my favorite pastime? Reading a book. I found an ancient relic of some time. It belongs in a museum. If you don't like the question, you do have the option of selecting new question. So let's select new question on this one. There we go. I love horses. You lost me at horse. What do I most to do on a trip to Selva Dorada? Now, if you've not noticed, what each of these questions does is it randomly asks you a question based on the different packs that you own. So Selva Dorada is the Adventures pack. So what do I most to do on a trip to Selva Dorada? Let's say explore ancient ruins. The big game is tonight. What do I do? I don't care for sports. Yeah. As you answer the questions, you'll see these things here off to the side being ticked off. We'll get to that in a minute. The best way to fund my spending is save up for things I like most. And there we go. We have a sim who has been randomly generated for us. And it says, nice to meet you. Feel free to assign my gender, adjust my appearance, and select my clothing. Thanks to my sim story, I already have aspirations, traits, and skills that you can update. Don't forget to give me a name. Click OK. And now we've got our first sim. So going through here, it then shows us their story. And it says career, unemployed. Skill is archaeology. Another skill is Salvadorian culture. And starting funds above average. And up here, you will notice that we've got here, pick a cause of death. This is for if you want your sim to become a ghost. And we've got loads of different causes of death. Click one, and your sim will become a ghost because ghosts are now playable in The Sims. We're going to click Control Z to reverse that decision. Here, you've got your aspiration. There is a load of different aspirations to choose from. The more packs you have, the more aspirations that you will have to choose from. Each aspiration comes with a bonus skill. So the Archaeology Scholar aspiration comes with the Quick Learner skill. The My Story is what we just saw. Then we've got Preferences. So you can choose your Sim's likes and dislikes. And again, the more packs you have, the more likes and dislikes your sim will have. Now, normally what I do is I will randomize the preferences, and I will just have a look through to make sure that the likes and dislikes at least match a little bit, you know, their story or what I want the sim to do. But randomizing is definitely a good starting point. If you ever want to get a quick overview of their likes and dislikes, simply hover over each of these categories and it will give you a list of each like and dislike in that category. Magnet here, this is the turn on and turn off category. Unless I'm making a specific character, as in like with a specific personality in mind, I'll just click randomize preferences. You also have the option of leaving both likes, dislikes, and preferences, sexual, turn on and turn off preferences unticked. And eventually, as you play the game, your sim will develop their own preferences and likes and dislikes. Moving on to these three things here. These are your traits. There are loads of different traits in 4 different topics: social, lifestyle, hobby, and emotional. The more packs you have, the more DLC you have, the more traits you'll have to choose from. You can also pick an occult if you want to do so. Now, I recorded this video before the Enchanted by Nature pack has come out, so the occults that we've got to work with right now is alien, vampire, merfolk, spellcaster, and werewolf. The number of occults you have to choose from will depend on what packs you have downloaded for the game. And if you're watching this after the Enchanted by Nature pack has come out, and you've bought the pack, of course, then you will have the fairies occult there listed as well. Moving up here to the Plumbob, this is the identity Plumbob. If you click that, we're greeted with several different things to choose from. Right here, you can choose your Sim's gender identity. So we have male or female. Right now, our Sim is female. If you click on the ellipsis, you can customize more things. So you can give them a physical frame of masculine or feminine. So like, for example, if our Sim's gender here is female, we can give her a masculine frame to say that perhaps she is a transgender person. Clothing preference, masculine or feminine, and the only difference, a lot of the clothing nowadays is made for both frames, but there are a few clothing items and cast items that look different on male or feminine frame, and you can choose which one your Sim prefers. If you go here, the Sim will be able to become pregnant, get others pregnant, or neither. Again, this is great for storytelling. Can the Sim produce milk? Yes or no. Can the Sim use the toilet standing? Yes or no. Then moving over to sexual orientation, you can say this Sim is romantically attracted to men, women, or both. This Sim is exploring romantically, yes or no. And this means if you select no, then it will prompt the Sim to reject other Sims that do not meet their attraction type. If they're exploring, then your Sim will not reject Sims who do not meet their attraction type. I personally keep this ticked as yes. If you tick the no, then what that does is it just makes it really difficult for your Sim to find a sexual partner or a marriage partner. This Sim is interested in woohoo with men, women. You can take one or both. Then romantic boundaries. If you take this one, this is how jealous your Sim will be. This Sim feels jealous if any romantic partner engages in non-physical romance. So if, let's say, her partner would flirt with another Sim, that would make her jealous. If you take no, then it would not make her jealous. With this one, Sims feel jealous if any romantic partner engages in physical romance, not including woohoo. So if her partner decided that he was going to, say, kiss another Sim in a romantic way, she would get jealous about it. This one is Sim feels jealous if any romantic partner engages in woohoo. So if her partner were then to cheat on her and woohoo with another Sim, because this is ticked yes, she would feel jealous. And this one is the Sim's jealousy triggers can change by talking about it with other Sims, yes or no. So this is, if you take yes, then that means these things can actually change as you play the game. If you take no, then they're set in stone and they will never change. Moving over to this point here, you can have a Sim. It says Sims created via a story must be young adult or older. If you create a Sim, and the story is, going through those questions that we went over, if you create a Sim by not going through that story, then you can actually have, you can create a Sim as a teenager who lives on their own. Doing a story, you have to go young adult or older. But you can create infants, toddlers, children, teenagers, young adults, adults, and elder Sims. This button here is the default walk style, and there are loads to choose from. Whichever one you want, just click on it and then click done to change the walk style. This right here is the voice, so you can decide which type of voice: sweet, melodic, lilted, clear, warm, or brash. And then you can also change the pitch of the voice to higher or lower. This right here is relationships button. I'll show you that when we have another Sim. So let's go ahead and we'll add another Sim. Just to show you how it's done, we'll start from the bottom. We can add a Sim via another story if we want, but we're not going to do that because we've already done so. We can add a new Sim, so let's go ahead and do that. There we are. We just have a randomized Sim. Normally, what I like to do when I'm creating Sims is I will randomize them, which is just ticking this dice button here. If you randomize, then it literally, it just randomizes the sim. You can also decide which things you want to randomize in the sim. So let's say that you like this sim here, but you don't like their clothing. You can untick all, then click clothing and then randomize, and it will give that sim new clothing. If you ever decide that you want to undo an action, you can click or redo an action. You can click this button here to undo, and this arrow button here to redo. And this button here allows you to randomize a sim from the gallery. So what this will do is it will choose a sim at random from the gallery that other people have put in the gallery and will put it in your game. This only works if you're connected to the internet and the gallery is working. So now that we've created two sims, we'll be able to edit the relationship. So if we click on this, we've got sim 1. If she had a name, it would show as her name there. We can say that they're household members, sisters, spouses, engaged, or a partner. Let's say that they're married. We can choose their family dynamic, close, distance, jokesters, or difficult. Let's go ahead and say that they're close. And their romance dynamic, which can be steamy, strained, unpredictable, or wholesome. Let's just say that they have a wholesome relationship. And click done, and there you go. Now we've got to choose the different things here, the aspiration, the trait. Yeah, since we've already gone through all these, I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to randomize all of the traits. I just click this button here a few times just to get a truly random result. And we get left with macabre, party animal, and unflirty. So let's do an aspiration. She's got the party animal trait. So let's go into popularity and give her the party animal aspiration as well. And then we'll just randomize her likes and dislikes and turn-ons and turn-offs. Checking her identity, it's randomized her as cisgender, sexual orientation. I'm actually going to take all of this. Then we can give our sims their names. So we can, here you've got your first name, your last name, and you can also change their pronouns. You can give them your sims they, them pronouns, she, her pronouns, he, him, or make your own custom pronouns. So we're just going to say that she is cisgender for now, and I'm going to just randomize her name. And the same with sim 2. And you can, of course, type in here. There we are. And pronouns will give her, we'll actually give her they, them pronouns. Why not? Their pronouns are they, them. We're going to go into Mary's body here, and we're going to click on her. And clicking on her face makes her face zoom in. And we're given all of these options here. So we can change her face, and we've got skin tones, warm, neutral, cool, miscellaneous. Then there's all the different face presets, the skin details, such as freckles, wrinkles, and so on. Different teeth, brow details, these are like your brow scars. Cheek details, which are your cheek scars and markings. Eye details, which will be your eye scars and the bags under your eyes. And mouth details, which again are mouth and chin scars. There's not very many of those, but there are a few. Then we've got all of the hair, and with this bit, the hairstyle and the accessories and clothing and such like. There's a filter panel. You can choose the category of the outfit, which is everyday, formal, athletic, sleep, party, swimwear, hot weather, and cold weather. You can change the length of the hair, the texture, so afro, textured, straight, or wavy. The fashion choice, which is masculine or feminine. The special things, which will highlight only event rewards. The content, so you can toggle off purchased, which will show everything that your sim has purchased. Or custom content, which shows only custom content. As you see here, I have a few custom content items. And then you can also filter by packs. So base game, expansions, game packs, stuff packs, kits, and the stuff that we get for free through free downloads, that is. And right now, the only thing we have is the holiday stuff. Hair, like I said, short, medium, long, and updo. Then we have the hats. Again, you can filter however you want with the hats, including by color. We have brimmed hats, brimless hats, and baseball caps. Again, you can randomize if you want to do so. Finally, there's accessories, and these are your piercings, your glasses, your necklaces, and your medical wearables. In this case, it's hearing aids. One side, the other side, or both. And then you've got your makeup. So you have eye makeup, eyeliner, eyelashes, cheeks, lips, and face paint. Now, I'm just very quickly going through all of this for you. This isn't meant to be a super in-depth tutorial. I just want to show you all of the basics. If we scroll out, we can actually scroll to see the entire sim again. And if we click this detail edit mode, this goes into the face immediately. So we can actually click on or hover over different parts of the sim's face. And you'll see here it's highlighting different sections. So we've got the nose here that's highlighting, the cheeks, the lips, the chin, and this just allows you to very carefully tweak different things. So like if we go with the eyebrows, for example, you can click on them and you can move the mouse wheel around to tweak the eyebrows. Click that to exit the detail mode. And then if we click on her body, that will take us into the clothing categories. Sorry, we also have body preset, the tattoo area, which allows you to put tattoos on loads of different places of the body. You can go into paint mode and layer tattoos, and there's also a couple of preset tattoos here. Again, how much you have depends on which packs you have downloaded for the game. Then we've got arm hair. And you can have the arm hair match the head hair or not. You can also take this to enable hair growth, and that will have your sim's hair will grow while you play the game. You can either let the hair grow or you can have them shave in the shower, which I think is pretty cool. There's torso hair, back hair, leg hair, body scars, skin details such as pigment details, so like birthmarks and so on, and medical wearables, which in this case are diabetic patches on the arm and lower abdomen. Which you can do for storytelling you can say that those hormone patches or anti-smoking patches, to help them quit smoking or whatever. Moving on to styled looks, these are a bunch of different pre-made looks that the Sims team have made for you, and you can clothe your sim in any of these that you want. This just gives you an idea of what each one will look like. Again, how many you have is dependent upon how many packs you own. If you click on here, it takes you into the tops, and there's loads of sub-top categories. So we've got blouses, jackets, t-shirts, sweaters, tanks, button-up, sweatshirts, suit jackets, polos, brassieres, swimsuits, and vests. Then we have the full body, which contains jumpsuits, long dresses, short dresses, sets, outerwear, costumes, robes, lingerie, aprons, overalls, and swimsuits. Bottoms, which again have their own subcategory. I'm not going to go into every single subcategory because we will be here forever. Then you've got your accessories, which is like your bracelets, gloves, fingernails, toenails, and so on. And then you've got your shoes, again, loads of different subcategories in the shoe section. And if you notice over here, let me just twist my sim around. You can twist your sim around by grabbing the sim with your right mouse button and rotating using your mouse wheel, left or right, or you can use these buttons down here to rotate your sim as well. Now this over here is your muscle and fat sliders. So if you want your sim to be super muscular, you can choose, just slide the slider up. If you want them to be less muscly, then you can slide it down. Same thing here, if you want your sim to have a higher percentage of body fat, you can slide the slider up. If you want your sim to have a smaller percentage of body fat, then slide it down. The next thing we're going to take a look at in the Create a Sim is the pet. If you have cats and dogs or horse ranch, then you can choose to add a dog, a cat, or a horse. Or you can make a mixed breed. Let's just add a cat to the mix. Click on the cat icon and you immediately get a random cat. Now, if you don't like the cat that shows up, then you can hit randomize to get a different breed. In this case, we've got a Somali cat here. You can also randomize from the gallery, and again, this just takes a cat that someone has created from the gallery. And it might take a little while, but there we go. We've got this gorgeous mixed breed tortoiseshell here. And it already has the traits for the animal because it's from the gallery. If you don't like these traits, you can always randomize them by clicking here. But cats can have 3 different traits. All animals can. They do not have aspirations. They do not have likes. They do not have dislikes or sexual turn-ons or turn-offs. But there are quite a few traits here that you can choose from. These buttons up here control the pose of the cat. So this is standing, sitting, begging, or standing on their hind legs, which is absolutely adorable, or lying down. And the reason why you might want to do this is 1, to see what the cat looks like from different angles, and 2, if you click on the cat, you can give them clothing, you can change their breed, you can change what their body looks like, you can change their tail, long or short tail, their coat color and pattern. They've got presets, or you can change the color here, the different types of fur, and paint mode, of course, which is a color wheel. If you decide you want to change, paint something on the cat or change their coat via the coat color, then you can change their poses just so that you can get to different areas a little bit easier. The identity Plumbob is a little bit different than the Sims identity Plumbob. You can decide, whether the cat is male or female, and if you click on the customize ellipsis, then you've got reproduction options, and you can decide whether the cat can have babies or has been neutered or spayed. This gives you the ability to choose the age of the cat, so you can have it be a kitten, an adult, or an elder. You can change the cat's voice, so it can be sweet or a raccoon. There's only the 2 choices, and you can change the cat's voice pitch. And then we can also change the cat's name. So we're just going to give it a randomized name, and you can change the pronouns of your pets as well, which is interesting. I guess you can have a gender-neutral cat if you really wanted to. The next thing we're going to look at is the Occult Sims. As of the recording of this video, we don't have the Enchanted by Nature kit pack yet, but if you're watching this after that pack has been released and you have bought the pack, you will have fairies to choose from here. But right now, I've got Alien, Vampire, Merfolk, Spellcaster, and Werewolf to choose from. Again, you might have more or less depending on what packs you have. We have the aliens, and most of the occults have their true form and their disguise form, and you can change these accordingly. You can have them be different if you wish, or even the same. You can completely make the alien sim look human if you really wanted her to. You can see here she's an alien. You can choose her aspirations and traits. Because this sim is not from the gallery and has not been made from story, we can change her age. So let's just say that she is a child sim. You'll notice that with the age of the sim, the aspiration and traits change. Infant sims cannot have aspirations, they have 1 trait. Toddler sims cannot have aspirations, but they are given 1 trait. Child sims can have an aspiration, and they are just from 5 categories, and they're all child-based aspirations and a trait. The teen sims can have 2 traits and teen or adult aspirations. And then you've got the young adult, and the elder. The young adult starts off with 3 traits and an aspiration. And that's all you can get is the 3 traits. You can get special traits throughout gameplay though. Moving on to other occults, we can click on this and we can have a vampire. Vampire child sims are kind of vampires, but they're not. They don't have access to any of the vampire powers or the vampire mode until they become adults. So if we change her to a young adult, there we go. We can now add a dark form to her. Merfolk, you've got your sim form and your mermaid form. You also have link filters with some of the occults. So you can link different types of information from that sim, so their clothing, their makeup, their hair, and it will link between forms. So if you want her hair to change between her mermaid form and her sim form, you would untick the hair. If you want her voice to change, you would untick the voice, and so on. The spellcaster, there is no alternate form with the spellcaster, but spellcasters can cast spells. And the final one that I have at the moment is werewolf. And the werewolf sims, they've got a normal sim form and a beast form. And the fur on the beast form can be completely changed through the coat color and pattern and paint mode. And it says here, if you try to turn for example, a young adult werewolf into a child, it gives you the warning here, children cannot access their beast form yet. Selecting this age option will delete your current beast form. You cannot undo this change. So if we take yes, we now have a child werewolf who will not become a werewolf until they hit an older age. So now if we go to add a sim again, we can actually click this button to add a sim from the gallery. And that opens up the gallery. I've already done a pretty in-depth tutorial about the gallery on our first video in this series, which goes over the main menu UI. If you want to watch that, you can head over there. I'll put a card just up above here, and I'll put the link to the video in the description for you as well. But basically, to choose a sim from the gallery, you click that button, it takes you to the gallery, and you can filter by specific things. So you can do households, and I have no idea why there are some buildings here and rooms when they're supposed to be just households. But let's see if we can fix that. There we go. The gallery kind of falls over and you have to refresh it by doing that. So here's a bunch of gallery sims that you can choose from. You can either choose a household if you want to erase the household that you've been working on, or choose one sim to merge into your existing household. If you choose a sim, and if we click here, we can place household. We can save household to library, favorite household, or we can report. And the report button, if you see anything that is racist or anti-LGBT or inappropriate, click the flag there and it will report that sim or the build or whatever. So yeah, we can save household to library, hit close again, and then add a sim. And then if we go up to gallery, go to your library, then the sim will be right here, and you can click place household, and it gives you the option to merge with the household you're currently editing, replace them, or cancel. So we'll click merge, and there we go, she has been added. We can select her relationships, so we can say that she is Pearl's, we can say sister, spouse, daughter, engaged, or partner. Let's say that Pearl is her daughter, and Mary is a household member, and Annabelle, we can say, is sister or daughter. Unfortunately, it's not allowing us to say granddaughter, and that's because we haven't set Annabelle's household relationships yet. So if we go back to Annabelle and we do household relationships, we can set Pearl and Mary as her mother, and then we can go to Bridget, who's automatically listed as her grandmother, and then we can choose family dynamic, and let's just say that it's a permissive family dynamic. There we go. And of course, you notice that the romance dynamic was unticked because, one, she's a child, and children cannot have romance dynamics, and 2, they're related, so they still wouldn't be able to have romance dynamic even if she was aged up to an adult. Finally, you can play with genetics. So let's click this, and we can create a sibling for Annabelle or a third parent for Annabelle if we wanted to. And this just basically takes different characteristics from this particular sim and creates a sim for them. So, sim that's related to them. We're gonna say sibling and make her a teen, and clicking here you can randomize the sister or randomize the twin. You can change the siblings or the sim's gender, male or female. You can tell this sim is also a werewolf because Annabelle is a werewolf. You can also decide whether you can do dog, cat, or horse genetics. Now we can't do dog because we don't have a dog. So if we click on this, what the heck is going on here? Yeah, that's messed things up a bit, hasn't it? Oh my gosh. Let's undo that. Oh my god. I honestly have no idea what happened there. That was seriously so weird. Let's cancel that. Let's add a sim with genetics again, and we'll just say that Pearl plus Mary, and give them another child, shall we? There we go, and that will randomize a non-messed up sim. Oh my gosh, I had no idea that was gonna happen. So we can click done, and again, wow, this is really bugging out on me. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna delete that sim because this isn't good. What? I have no idea what's going on here. We're just gonna move on. Once you've created all of your sims, you can click the play button or the cancel button if you want to just back out. So if we click cancel, it will say all progress on your current household will be lost. You can click main menu or reset current household. But if you click the play button here, then it will take you directly into the game. We're not going to do that quite yet. Instead, we're going to go up here, and these options up here, you can save the household to your library. So down here, you can add a description, and you can save the household to the gallery or save the household to your library, which is your hard drive. If you click this opens the gallery. This is the shop, so that opens up the store. I just gonna roll my eyes. This gives you the notification wall, and this is your options menu. Again, I went through the options menu in our previous video in this series about the main menu UI, so if you haven't already done so, please go back and watch that video. If we click this button, this is the play button, and it gives you photo of your sims and says click the check mark to save this household to your library and begin playing. You can click this to share the household to the gallery. You can randomize the portrait by clicking this image, and you can click save and play. So now that we've created a household, I just hope this household isn't like super buggy, then the game will go into the loading screen, and we're given the option that says select a season to play in. Whichever one you choose is completely up to you. I normally choose spring because if you're doing like a rags to riches, it gives you the chance to get your sim established and get them a house built before the cold of winter sets in. But if you're doing a story-based play, then you can just choose whichever season you want. I'm gonna choose spring for now. Click this button here to continue. And now the game wants us to move our household into a world. Because I want as many of you as possible to be able to follow along, we're going to choose Willow Creek because it is a base game world. And we can choose a lot now. Now you can choose whichever lot you want. But since the next video in the series is going to be covering the build node UI, I'm going to choose one of the empty lots in Willow Creek. We're just going to go with this larger one, the bargain bin. click on the lot that you want your sim to move into, and then click this button here to confirm. And it will say the Blankenship household is moving. Could this be the perfect home? Click the Purchase Home button. You get another loading screen. If this is your first foray into The Sims 4, get used to loading screens. There's loads of them. And the game goes straight to your Sims on their lot. I just want to say special thanks to my paid members. If you want to see your name here as well, click the join button below the video. Becoming a paid member is a great way to support me, and you get some pretty nice perks as well. So if you haven't watched the first video in this series, click here to do so now. In that video, I go through the entire main menu, including the UI, the gallery, and more.